Hi everybody, it's Gail. I'm here today to share my latest journal with you. It's so pretty. It's very feminine with the pastels and the florals. It's a naked journal, or I'm kind of thinking of it as a mostly naked journal. You'll see why when we get inside. It is 6x9. It's got 58 pages, plus the covers, front and back. It is a single signature, and that signature has a 5-hole pamphlet stitch binding. But then the signature itself is removable. What I did was, to bind the signature into the journal, I used a traveler's notebook elastic type of binding with the holes. So it's easily, the whole signature itself is easily then removed and put back in. I created the journal from an envelope. This is just generic envelopes. You can find them probably anywhere. I got mine at Walmart's. I folded the flap in, adhered it, folded it over, and it made a 6x9 journal. I had considered leaving the pocket and then opening the other end and having 2 pockets on the covers, but I chose not to because I really wanted to sew around the journal with black thread for the contrast with the pastels. So that was the decision made on that. The cover, the front cover, is created with a piece of antique ledger paper. I have an old ledger from 1857. It's got beautiful handwriting in it. Every page has been used. So what I did was I hand painted some of my very loose watercolor florals on the ledger paper and then used that as my cover. And then I just added a few little collage embellishments. I just didn't want to take away from the hand painted flowers, so I didn't do a lot on the cover. The back cover I collaged, and I just needed to use up scraps. Like all of us who make journals, I have a ton of scraps, so I'm always looking for ways to use them up, and I love to collage. So let me bring it up a little closer so you can see. So these were just scraps I had in my scrap bin, and so I just collaged the back of the journal. And then, like I said earlier, I had sewn around the entire journal with some black thread. The binding is loose. I mean, it's not attached to the journal. It's just some gorgeous pale pink sari ribbon, and it could be left off, you know, if someone chooses to do so. And I tied it this way because, again, I just didn't want to detract from the hand-painted roses, and I liked the way that looked, so that's why the closure was tied like that. To go inside the journal, you can see why I call it mostly naked. Excuse me while I take a drink of water. I did add a few little pockets. This is just some nice lace trim that I added. And this pocket is from an Edith Holden book. And then I just added a little tag into this pocket, and it's just some authentic ephemera I have. This is a sheet from, this is partial sheet from a French embroidery magazine, dated 1837. No, this was 1910. And then this is a French, part of a French letter. Gorgeous. The handwriting is just gorgeous. Y'all, this letter is dated 1602. 1602. I am just, you know, when I hold this in my hand, I'm just utterly speechless. Hundreds of years ago, and here we are. I mean, I have no words. 1602, guys. I love this. I just added just a little embellishment here at the top. There is some kind of a pinky, peachy lace trim inside on top of the spine. So that's the inside cover page. And then this page here, what we've got is, it looks like a postcard, but actually it was an old furniture company advertisement. Look at the font on that. Typography is fascinating, don't you think, as you look at it from over the years? I hope that's not blurry. Excuse me. Let me lower it. Okay. This is it's a vintage postcard. It's dated 1910. Beautiful roses. And then just a journal card that I created with some embossing on the bottom and room to write on the back. So when I say mostly naked, this is what I'm talking about. I couldn't help myself. I just couldn't let it go totally naked. You know, it's got to have a little something. So let me flip through. Most of the pages are blank, but you know, I'll fill you in if there's something interesting. Like this is just some vintage wallpaper that I have. I did some stenciling over here. There's a little stamping over here. This is a French grammar book page. I think it's dated somewhere in the 1920s. This is an old vintage notepad, the lined notepad. No, I'm sorry. This was from a ledger. This is from a vintage ledger that I have, and they were just all blank sheets inside, so I like those. This is a paper bag that I printed on. I ran it through my printer after I had stained it. And inside there is another postcard. This one, it's hard to read, but it's 1911. Doesn't look like, no writing, just a name and an address. Hope it got to them. Back then, I think it was a lot easier, and they did, without a whole lot of information on it. So, lilacs, I love lilacs. The smell of lilacs, to me, is heavenly. And then just some lace-stained paper, some stained colored paper, some avocado dyed lined paper. This is an envelope, and it's a pocket. I made it into a pocket. Added a little ribbon on there. Did some stamping. This is a copy of, I don't know if that's an invoice or a receipt, but I printed it on some very thin newsprint paper and then just did my own aging, added some faux vintage tape to it, kind of did some wrinkling and aging on it. This is from a book I recently acquired. It's from 1912. It's a business writing manual. So they were teaching people how to write in script, I guess, for businesses. Some more stained paper, colored paper. I bought a pack of it at Walmart's. It's got different pastel colors in it. Just a little washi tape. On some of these, I did use some washi tape to strengthen the creases. I just, because you're sewing in it and it's paper, sometimes I feel like it needs just a little extra help. So again, here, just some washi tape. I took a piece of that wallpaper scrap leftover and did a little tab. This is the center of the signature. Again, I wanted to strengthen this fold to keep it, I didn't want it to rip. This is the back of that invoice or receipt. Just did a little stamping. That's Sam Poole's stamps. I love her number stamps. And this is one of my favorites. I think I use it a lot. This is the other side of that envelope that I made into a pocket. I did do a little stenciling here, added some of the vintage wallpaper scrap. Just a little stamping here. This is the other side of that bag that I printed on, and on the back side I printed an image of this very ornate, I'm assuming garden gate. And inside, this is a letter from 1943. It's stamped Nashville, Tennessee. And there is, let's see. Oh, there's a birthday card inside. So I stuck that inside this bag. And there's something else in this bag. I created, let me excuse the hands. I created a couple. I love tiny little notebooks. And I like to, I usually stick at least one or two in a journal that I create. These images in this notebook are from Sam Poole. I love Sam Poole's digitals. And this is her Peonies digital set. And what I did was I backed them. They come in a strip of images. So I just cut them out 2 by 2, two images, and then folded them in half, and that gave me a back to back. And then again, just more scrap paper to finish off this little notebook. And I did hand sew it. I don't even know where the middle is. Oh, there it is. Just a little embroidery floss. This one's even smaller. Isn't it cute? Look at it, it's so little. And again, the Sam Poole images. And this is also one of Sam Poole's digisets. It's her lace, her neutral laces, and they're gorgeous. And again, just scraps. I can't talk today. I really can't. So I tucked those inside this pocket. Another Sam Poole stamp. Can you tell I like Sam Poole? So again, this is the other side of that French grammar page and the wallpaper sample. So, you know, like I said, lots and lots of pages to write on, to decorate, to embellish, however the new owner sees fit. One more pocket. I did emboss one part of it, and this is some vintage wallpaper. And then, last but not least, another little notebook with Sam's images from her peony kit. And again, just lots of little scrap papers. This is just a, it can be whatever you want it to be, piece of ephemera, embellishment, whatever you want to call it. A journaling strip, a tag, I don't know what you want to call it. I just think it's adorable. And this is from one of Sam's digi-kits. And I think it's Shabby Photos 1. She's got a couple, so I think this is the first one. And again, some more of that vintage wallpaper. This is, it was called a French agenda page, and I just think basically it's a diary, a page from a French diary, and I do believe that is the month of June. So I tucked that in along with these little goodies for this back pocket, and then I just took an old junk envelope I had stained it. I did a little bit of collage on the cover. This is from a wallpaper sample book from the 40s, and one of my little hand-painted roses. And then this is ready to decorate if they want. And then this is the back side, again, ready to decorate. And then the back inside cover. So that is the end of my journal. I want to thank you for coming along. I'm not going to attempt to tie this onto the journal on camera because I'm fumble fingers today, and fumble fingers a lot, even when I'm not on camera. So thanks so much for stopping by. Thank you to all my new subscribers. If you're already subscribed and you came back, thank you guys. Thank you so much. I always say this because it just means so much to me that you all stop by my little corner of the world. Have a great day. Have fun and stay creative. I'll see you soon. Bye.